I think so far it's been an absolute success. Turkey has been wanting to have a top team for the longest time. And I'm talking to you about 2018 when they had Space Soldiers and they almost made it to the playoff. I think Brazil now is opening the door for new talents to come in, and it's about finding the right balance in a team.
Estamos acá con Maniac para charlar sobre todo lo que viene sucediendo en el Major y lo que es este primer torneo de Counter-Strike 2. Maniac, first I want to know what's your take on having this brand new CS2 Major. How are you finding the matches and how you've been seeing these stages?
I think so far it's been an absolute success. I think we are seeing a very interesting mix of, on one hand, you have the old guard, right? You have teams like FaZe and G2, and these are names that you've been talking about it for years. But on the other, you have a lot of young blood who's coming through with CS2 as well. You think of teams like Mouse or Spirit, but also a lot of other new players who popped off in the opening stage or the elimination stage that maybe we didn't know before. So as far as I'm concerned, it's been a fantastic event. I'm very, very happy so far, and we are not even done with the playoffs.
It looks like that this narrative that the young guns were going to conquer this new era, but FaZe Clan yesterday made something very important and ruined the pick'ems of a lot of people, putting Spirit as champions, and Spirit now is out of the tournament. How do you see that? Because it looked like the old guard has something to say.
Spirit could have beaten FaZe. I think everyone realized yesterday they had so many chances, but it is true. When you are in a playoff game at a major and the pressure is at the very maximum, then experience will get you that plus 1%. And I think FaZe showed that yesterday. It was a good show from FaZe. Like, to have to beat them, you really have to push them to the max. Unfortunately for Spirit, that didn't work out, but it's okay. I think the hype is still here for the young guards.
We have some interesting matches today, and I think that the story of Eternal Fire is interesting to see, because if they made past this stage, it's something historic for them, and also it's like Turkey is rooting for them.
Turkey has been wanting to have a top team for the longest time. And I'm talking to you about 2018 when they had Space Soldiers and they almost made it to the playoff. Finally, you have sort of the perfect team, if that makes sense. Like with Kedia coming in and Major regaining the control of the team. So I can understand the hype from Turkey. I think it's deserved. No one on that team has ever played a playoff at the Major. Yes. They're literally fresh to this kind of environment.
That's something interesting you said, because it's like they were struggling to build a roster that reached these stages. And I think that Brazil is going through right now, because they had all these teams playing at the Major, but they didn't reach playoffs. And it's like a constant problem that they are keeping old guys, but they are not looking for new guys.
I think Brazil now is opening the door for new talents to come in, and it's about finding the right balance in a team. And I think Imperial has a cool little concept about it, with Phelps and Henny, and then the new kids coming in. They have something that's working. But I can understand the frustration, because from an outside perspective, it feels like Brazil has so much talent. Like, there are so many good players there. Surely you can put together a team that is going to have playoffs run, maybe even pretend to go to a semifinal or a final. So it's high time for Brazil to figure out the lineup that can actually represent them at the very, very top. But I'm certain that the player quality is here. I think we saw it in Copenhagen. Like, they have an incredible quality within the country.
Okay, so last questions. What do you think it's your surprise of the tournament and your deception of the tournament so far?
Maybe Heroic not making the playoff. They destroyed everyone on their way, 3-0, easy peasy. And I have to admit that there was a bit of a crumble in the elimination stage. That was disappointing. Good surprise. Well, you know what? I'm just going to say I think Big Azera was incredible. I have known he was a good player for so long, but I think it's crazy that he's still so strong now, and he was able to do so much with this Pain roster. That surprised me a little bit, and I hope that the success for him will continue, because I think he's an extremely deserving player.
Okay, thank you very much.
Pleasure.